So I was talking with a friend of mine recently, and we were debating whether it's actually better to say more in a conversation or say less. And he was telling me that it's better to say more, that you should speak your mind a lot. But that didn't really convince me. So I started reading this book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And in one of the first few chapters he wrote, "Always say less than necessary." And that got me thinking, why would saying less bring more power to you? It doesn't really make sense, does it? It's actually a great thing to hear for us introverts though. And then I made this connection. I'm a huge fan of the series Peaky Blinders, and the main character, Thomas Shelby, is one of the most powerful gangsters in the series. And he's known to stay calm under any situation and to let others speak more than he does. But that brings us back to our main question. Why does speaking less bring more power to you? So in this video, I'm gonna give you 6 interesting reasons as to why it is, and stay until the end because I'm going to show you a clip of Peaky Blinders that explains this very well. The author starts off by saying, when you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Why risk saying something stupid and lose the respect that others have for you? Remember, there's this quote that says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation, but only a few seconds to destroy it. So you can't take back your words. Once you have offended someone or made a stupid or inappropriate comment, you can't take your words back. Think about it this way. Words are only symbols to relay your own thoughts into other people. So simply put, just say what you think, and that's depending on the context, obviously. But don't say something stupid or offensive, because it's very hard to argue that you didn't mean that. So this one is very interesting, and I'll put it this way. Do you know why diamonds or gold are so admired? They're just rocks, so they don't have any intrinsic value to them. There's nothing that makes them valuable. But the one thing that does is their scarcity. Prehistoric people didn't care much about gold because it didn't help them in any way. There's no value to it. But in our times, gold is very valuable because it is rare. So what do I mean by that? Well, your words can be like gold, but only if you restrict what you say and what you say is valuable. Make people interested, but don't reveal too much. It's like a hook. People have to be interested in wanting to know more about what you have to say. So make sure that your words are concise, but that they bring actual value to the conversation. And only then will people see your words as gold. Everybody wants to talk, but what you have to do is listen. Just listen. If you actually want to improve your social skills and be able to influence people better, then all you have to do is listen. Don't think about what you should say next or decide to talk more just because you have to. When you stop talking, something magical actually happens. The other person starts to talk. Sometimes I do this on purpose. I would just stop talking because I don't have anything more of value to bring to the conversation, and because I'm comfortable with silence, And funny enough, the other person will just start talking and fill in the blank. And that's actually good for us introverts. But now you can know all about the other person's thoughts, their emotions, and what makes them tick. Effective leaders, successful entrepreneurs, and influential politicians, they all know that you should listen more than you speak. So the less you speak, the more attention people bring to your words. And we as humans, we often interpret meaning for ourselves. And by being vague and open-ended, others will attribute their own thoughts to you. And this is something that we call in psychology projection. By speaking with vague terms, others will project their own beliefs onto you, and that will make you more relatable to them. Okay, last one before I give you the example of Peaky Blinders, but this one is that it's much harder to deceive you. And I'll give you a quick story about King Louis XIV, who was a man of a few words, and it was hard to influence him. All he would ever say was, "We shall see." This made him impossible to manipulate. And so other people got very stressed out because when they presented new policies to him, they didn't know how to persuade him. But that made him very powerful as a king because he wasn't naive and he wasn't influenced by others. So if you've made it this far, here's your reward with Peaky Blinders, as I promised, and how this concept of talking less makes you more powerful. So this scene is one of my favorites. To give you some quick context, it's late at night, and Thomas Shelby has been seeing this lady recently. I believe it's the first time they're all alone in a room.
Shall I leave you alone?
Came here for company. Where's Harry?
He took the night off. We went to the pictures.
So notice how he asked that question. She gave an answer, but he kept silent. So she continues the conversation. Listen carefully to how he just gets to the point and doesn't wander around with his words.
How's your beautiful horse?
I just put a bullet in his head.
Was he lame?
He looked at me the wrong way. It's not a good idea to look at Tommy Shelby the wrong way.
What a waste.
Yeah. A waste is what it is. You know, in France, I got used to seeing men die. Never got used to seeing horses die. They die badly.
I don't get a dress like you asked. Thanks.
And now, look at how she tells him something and he just looks at her without talking back. So she continues the conversation. And this is a power move, because by not being impressed and not showing his emotions, she feels like she has to do something more to gain his approval. You'll see what I mean when she sings in a bit.
It's Cheltenham you're talking about. Cheltenham's grand affair, is it not?
The king will be there.
King George?
No. King Billy Kimber and all his men.
And what must I do?
For £2, you'll do what I ask you to do.
I want 3. If I am meeting a king, I won't be wearing a cheap dress. And I ask you to let me sing. It's part of the deal now, too.
Since when?
Since you nearly smiled.
Here, I just want to point out again how direct he's going to be when she tells him about her past in Dublin. He goes straight to the point, which is a sign of power.
Saturday nights, open and easy. Everyone gets to sing their song just like we did in Dublin.
You never worked in Dublin. So don't lie to me. I asked around about that pub he said you used to work in. I have friends over there. No one has heard of you.
So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video until the end. And if you know you disagree with me, then so be it. You can write in the comments and that'll be great. And like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next time.